everyone, so today I'm going to be trying out the ARTEZA Real Brush Pens. Now I have the 96 pack here, which I believe is the biggest pack you can get. Really good value for money. I think the 96 pack cost me around £65, so less than £1 per marker. So inside the ARTEZA box you have 6 plastic rows of the pens. They're already organised into colour order, which is perfect. Easy to find the colour you want. You also get a water brush pen which slots in the top here. So I honestly think I'll probably keep them in the box. It's just really accessible, really easy to use, and because there's so many you'd find it hard to get a tub to put them in. So I just think it's a perfect way to keep them. We'll jump into the review. I've got some really exciting things to show you, from the swatches to making my own artwork with these and just exploring the blendability, the pigment and the colour range. So let's get to the swatches. I've created these swatch sheets. I have 6 sheets here, all with boxes and the name of the colour I'm going to be using. So I started with Pale Skin, which is the first brush pen colour, just using it straight from the brush onto the paper. Laid it a few times and then used the water brush pen to blend it out. Now I've done this same technique for every single colour, so you get a true representation of how each colour blends and the true tone. Straight away I noticed the brighter colours blended a lot better than the light colours, just because they have a lot more pigment, but this is to be expected and would happen with any watercolour pens. So here are the final swatches for the first sheet. So impressed so far. Really beautiful colours, so pigmented. And we move on to the second sheet. The second sheet consists of primarily pink and purple tones, and I honestly thought that a lot of them would be very samey, but as you can see the pinks are so different. There are so many different tones and it really surprised me. With such a big set you normally expect some overlap, but there wasn't at all here. Every colour I've swatched so far is so different and I'm so pleased. They're so beautiful, and just because you can blend them out it creates so many more tones. Just as a side note, I am not using watercolour paper for these swatches. I'm using normal cartridge paper. I wanted to see how well the pens performed and whether they would seep through the paper or create holes, and honestly they've performed so well. I think this makes them accessible to people of all different skill types, whether you're an artist or not. You don't have to buy the expensive paper to go with them. So we're on to the penultimate swatch sheet, and it's honestly I think my favourite of them all. The greens and teals are so beautiful. The pigment is incredible and you can see they blend and blend and blend. Create so many different tones. They would be perfect for painting plants or landscapes and scenery. The only colour I had a problem with was ice blue, just because it's so pale, so there wasn't much blendability, but that was expected again. And we're on to the last swatch sheet. This sheet consists of the less exciting colours in my opinion, you know, the browns, the greys, the blacks, but they're always needed, and really ARTEZA have provided such an amazing range of these. The greys are incredible and that black blended so well. I cannot wait to use it more. I will now cut to a little clip of the finished swatches. Enjoy. Next, I thought I would just show you the types of lines you can create with the brush markers. You can create really small lines like shown, or thicker lines when you press down. You can create like the thick lines, really small lines and everything in between. Because it's a brush marker, the tip is so flexible and the synthetic bristles move around. Now for my personal favourite bit, where I'm going to show you how I use these brushes in my own artwork. The first technique I'm using is where I just lay down some colours and then I'm starting to blend it out with the brush pen, creating different tones. I found this worked really well to add depth and shadows and light areas. I did notice that you could blend the colour out so much that you lose that depth and tone, but I correct this later when it dries just by laying the pens again. So far, I'm really impressed with the way everything blended and it looks so seamless and beautiful, creating depth and light. The next technique I'm going to be using is where I lay down the colour with the pen in a splodge, and then I'm using the water brush pen just to drag the colour outwards and create these beautiful little flowers. I think this technique is really good to get some precise small shapes that you couldn't get just using the brush pen alone. Now I just use the ARTEZA brush pen straight onto the paper, creates these really thin pigmented lines. What's good about these pens is I'm now going with the water brush pen and dilute this pigment, which almost creates like a gradient effect, and I'm just creating the little leaves, as you can see. This next part uses the same technique as with the red flowers, laying the pigment directly down with the brush pen, then using the water pen to dilute this and spread it around to create the shape you want. It creates such a beautiful gradient and is really good for floral elements as shown. This next technique is really good for getting a light wash of colour, so I'm using a bit of waterproof paper, painting directly onto it with a brush pen, which puts the pigment onto that, and then I'm grabbing the water brush pen, picking the colour up and using it as a light wash of colour. As well as adding the dots, as you just saw, these brush pens are perfect for layering. So once the red flowers were dry, I just used the brush pen and layered a purple colour on top. Once this was all done, I inked up my drawing, as you can see, and the finished product was completed. Overall, I'm super duper happy with my purchase. Really high quality pens, especially for the price, less than £1 per marker. Really happy with the piece I managed to create with it. I honestly think that I'll carry on using these and they'll probably replace my watercolour pans just for convenience. They're perfect for on the go when you're around. They're just really easy pick up and go kind of pens. Really happy with the swatches. I'm going to keep these around so that I can always reference them when drawing. The only thing I would say is that the lighter colours don't like blend as well. That is to be expected across all brush pens though, because they don't have as much pigment in. But really the bright colours, they could blend for miles. They're so beautiful, create so many rich tones. I'm really excited to carry on using these, and hopefully I'll be able to get my hands on some more ARTEZA products. Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed making this video and trying out the ARTEZA pens. Hopefully there'll be many more videos to come. If you liked it, then subscribe to my channel, follow me, whatever. Comment down below what parts you enjoyed. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.